Alright, we're about halfway there. Maybe we'll get there today. We have some choices that are the same coming up. Was it possible for Trent to be involved in something like this? Well, I wasn't sure anymore. It could be. It really could be. So, speaking of similar choices, let me just make sure this is one. I think it is. Yep, it is. So, I'm gonna try and make things right with Heidi again. It has nothing to do with either of us looking better than the other. I appreciate you trying to help. Okay. What? What exactly happened? Were you on Sierra? I didn't know they were sending you into areas with fighting.
It isn't as bad as either of them is making it out to be.
There was an exploding building. It sounds pretty bad. Right? This isn't flirting. This is... I don't know. I can't believe you're so relaxed about getting hurt like that.
Sure. If you say so. It's definitely not flirting.
I flopped down, ignoring the heat creeping up my neck. Vaughn was way too adept at getting under my skin. It's her mom energy. Okay, so the flirting continued. Great. And we talked to our parents? Yes. Me too. It was just a relief to finally talk to them. Okay. I guess that's because we're emotional now. Probably. And this is another instance that's the same as the passionate ending. I have to agree with Caleb. No defending Trent. We don't defend Trent here.
My main concern is whether you'll be able to be impartial in all this. If you still have feelings for...
I don't. Believe me, I do not have any residual feelings at all.
The other concern is if you're still pissed at him.
I don't think I'm angry at him still. And even if I was, it's not enough for me to automatically assume he's some nefarious spy.
But I mean... I also want to make it completely clear. If he pulls some kind of ex-boyfriend stupidity while he's here, we will kick his ass.
Thank you, Vaughn. Should have done it after that smooch. Caleb and Ari stood as well, reluctantly following suit. Ari paused a few feet from me and looked back.
I will also check in with you later, unless you would rather have one of us go with you. Come on, she doesn't need a babysitter. It's her first assignment. Let her handle it her way.
Thank you, but I'll be fine. Okay, so Ari didn't stay and chitty-chat with us for too long, but he did kind of check in. Thank you for checking in, Ari. Caleb waved and was gone. Ari lingered for a moment before he nodded and finally left as well. Alone again, I let out a sigh. Talking to them had made me even more nervous about it all. But it wasn't like I could hide here and avoid everything. Alright, time to go get smooched. This was... it. This was the proper start of it all, wasn't it? I mean, I'd worn the uniform before, but just to a short meeting. This felt a lot more official. Alright, here it comes. Somehow I expected to be angrier to see him. Weirdly, I felt nothing. Well, maybe a little sad. Okay.
Biff biff.
Yeah, he needed some biffs. So, let's see. Ah, we're going affectionate. Good. Okay, we're gonna start building some affection with this boy, which we've done before. Okay. He's lost the right to call you his girlfriend. Well, it's not that I disagree.
Then why do you continue to make excuses for him?
I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I just can't muster the energy to stay angry about this. If he was a stranger, of course I'd still be furious. But I dated him for so long, and we never officially ended things.
Officially. Not speaking for a year is not officially ending things.
Tell her, Ari. He sighed, frowning.
Oh, I am, admittedly, inexperienced in this area, so perhaps I'm mistaken. In the end, it doesn't matter. You are engaging with him in a professional setting, and he has shown that he may not respect that. Whether or not you see it as a problem, it is my duty to protect you. Hence, I wish to come with you today.
Aww. What a sweet boy. What am I doing here? We will accept his help, which I think we did before. Yes, we did. Great. I'm a big fan of that. It's not all bad. I mean, it took a while to get used to it, but there are good people here. They've gone well out of their way to make me comfortable, so I'm trying to make it work.
But what about your plans? Your education? What about...
Trent, there's no reason to discuss any of that anymore. So... Darn, I'm like, so I'll skip it. Never mind. Listen, why don't we talk about something else? Like your research, maybe? Music change? Music change! Let's go. The implications for the medical field seem pretty powerful. Even with bioenhancements, the nanosystem is limited in what it can do. But biokinesis has its limits. Still, I suppose it would be great if something like this could be used to help people.
Why else would we be doing it if not for that?
Aren't you worried people might use it for other things? It's not like psi weapons don't already exist. And if you figure out how to produce stronger artificial psi to help people, others will figure out how to do it to harm people. This is important research, but it also worries me.
I understand your concerns. I really do. But I think the good we can do will balance things out.
People always think that. And it never turns out that way.
I'm not sure it matters anyway. The ethical constraints on this type of research are pretty strict.
Okay, so we're back. So he's like, I want to get back together. Please, I miss you. What do you expect me to say to that, Trent? I forced myself to move on because I didn't think I'd ever hear from you again. Did you believe I'd wait forever?
No! No! I didn't think that. I didn't want that. I just hoped maybe we could...
The answer is no. No!
I knew you would say that.
Then why did you even ask?
Because I had to.
He shoved his hands in his pockets and gave me a lopsided grin. Uh-huh. This guy, I swear.
I hope you realize I won't give up that easily.
I wasn't even sure how to respond to that. And things were awkward afterward, because Trent be Trentin'. Ah yes, whose record they were desperate to access. I assume that's why I'm here, unless you just wanted to play a fun guessing game. I suspected I already knew, but I hated the way he played coy about this stuff sometimes. He called me here to talk about it. There was no need to dance around the subject. Okay.
And if I said it was your file? Well, not just yours. Yours and Ari's, to be specific.
My psi fingerprint, huh? Uh-huh. Alright, what am I doing? Analytical or emotional? Ah, we're doing analytical for this one as well. Delightful. It's not as if Endgame hasn't done shady things before. The truth hurts.
So it does. Well, I enjoy hearing the unapologetic truth from you, so I don't mind it.
Well, good, because you're getting it anyway, whether you mind it or not. Am I being affectionate? I am being affectionate. Look at us go. Look at us being all affectionate. We both might regret it later, but I went up on my toes and pressed a soft kiss to his lips. Oh, okay. I think she's initiating it this time. I can't remember. Man, I think I'd remember this. I thought that she kind of waited for him, but maybe that was later. Bleh, my memory sucks. Anyway, she smooched him now. He stiffened for the briefest of seconds before responding. Is this all new? No, okay. Okay, considering it changed when she reached up to kiss him, I imagine my memory is correct. Hopefully. Hee. I shouldn't have kissed him. Not yet. And now I couldn't take it back. Oh, I was so impatient. But he still teleported into our shower. Many people would argue this organization does benefit society.
And many would argue it doesn't. Lording its pseudo-army over everything in the guise of keeping the peace is hardly beneficial to anyone.
Matt, please. Can we not have this discussion here? We're guests. They're kind enough to give us access to...
Partial access only.
Uh-huh. Caleb? Alright, am I flexible or cautious this time? I'm cautious again, okay. We really are coming back around to all the choices we've done before, which is good.
He always flat rejected anyone interested in him and kept his distance if he was interested in them.
So, fight or flight kicks in, and Ari's first inclination is flight.
Usually. But jealousy is a new experience for him. I think it's curbing that instinct to run away. And then it makes him even more aware of what he's feeling.
And keeping his distance isn't an option this time.
Not when he's under orders to help train you.
I don't want things to be weird between us, and I don't want to be a source of stress for him. He's really helped me adjust here. I want us to be able to keep working together.
Is that all you want?
No. I struggle to find the words to express myself. I care for him a lot. I want him to be happy. Vaughn reached across the table and took my hands, giving them a light squeeze.
You'll figure out what to say to him. I'm sure.
Okay.
It took me a long time to work with the courage to tell Mara how I felt, but we managed it in the end.
Thanks. Alright. So we still got a chitty chat. He really hates us, huh? Trent shot me a strange look. I tried to keep my expression neutral, though it was a little out of character for me to not read the mood. But I couldn't keep dancing around the subject for fear of being obvious. At some point, I just had to ask.
It's not you as a person. Any of you. There are many people up there who get frustrated with Endgame, that's all.
I guess we can't be liked by everyone.
We?
I am a part of this organization now.
You know, after everything settles on Syrah, if the dissidents win...
Yes? It's a nice dream, isn't it? And, in a way, it was. I wasn't a robot. There was going to be some sort of longing at that kind of suggestion.
It doesn't have to just be a dream.
But it is just a dream. Is that what you wanted to talk to me about?
Are you really set on staying here, Morgan?
I am. So goodbye. There's something else going on with you. Something that maybe has to do with me as well. Ari froze for a moment, his eyes wide. He gripped his hands together tightly in his lap, starting up the tapping. Oh no, poor Ari, please. I just want us to talk about it, Ari. I think it's better to talk about it than just leave it alone, isn't it? You know you haven't done anything wrong, right?
I believe I should not have kissed you before.
If I recall, we were both involved in that kiss. And I don't think there was anything wrong with it either.
It was... unprofessional.
You don't need to be professional with me in my flat when neither of us is on duty. Personal relationships are allowed.
I...
The tremor in his voice startled me. I carefully reached for his hand, giving it a gentle squeeze. Ari, I want you to understand that I care about you a lot. Both as a friend and perhaps as more than that. But if you don't want that, or you're not ready, then I understand.
What about Trent?
Trent is not anything to me other than someone I used to know.
You can't deny there is a history there. An important one.
I think the present is more important than history.
You were studying history at your university.
That's immediately where my mind went to. Dang. That is not the same thing. If you've been hesitating because of Trent, please don't. That is not something for you to worry about. But it's not as if we need to rush things. Between us, I mean. We can just move forward slowly and see how things develop. I can see this is a little difficult for you, and I don't want to be the source of any anxiety or discomfort.
I'm not uncomfortable with this. With you. I admit, I also have come to feel something for you as well. I don't dislike it. No. I like it quite a lot. But I'm unsure how to manage it.
Feelings don't usually have to be managed. You can just let them be.
That is not the case for me. Uncontrolled emotions can lead to disaster. I find myself thinking about you to the point of distraction.
That's not terribly uncommon for that kind of thing to happen in this sort of situation.
I confess this is a new experience for me. I'm concerned about my ability to maintain control of my abilities when I'm feeling distracted.
All the more reason to take it slow.
Would you be alright with that?
I would be more than alright with that. Sometimes it helps when things are out in the open. There can be more tension from holding things in than there is from just talking about them, and I'm sure that can lead to additional problems. So don't bottle up how you're feeling. Just talk to me. I haven't been in an awful lot of relationships, but I do know that talking things out can ease a lot of stress.
I will endeavor to remember that.
Good. And there's no reason to be jealous of anyone, regardless of my history with them.
I will try to remember that as well.
I hesitated, then carefully wrapped my arms around him. He went rigid at first, but relaxed. Somewhat, after a moment. It was only a brief hug. Then I pulled away and smiled up at him. I'm glad we talked about this.
I am as well.
Feeling better, I hope? At least a little?
I'm unsure. But I do believe Caleb was right when he suggested I speak with you.
Getting relationship advice from Caleb? He really must have been desperate. Dang, shots fired. Pew 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 pew! Then again, Caleb was also the one who told me we needed to deal with it. I could just imagine him lecturing Ari. Let's not tell him he was right, though. I can only imagine how insufferable he'd be about it.
It is possible you're right.
I think it's more than possible. He definitely seems like the gloating sort.
Perhaps. I should go. You've had a long day, and you should rest.
You also need rest.
I intend to meditate for a while, then go to bed.
Good. Normally, a goodbye after that sort of heart-to-heart would have been slow or awkward, but in the end, Ari was Ari. He stood and went straight to the door without looking back. It was so very him that I had to hold in the laugh. It would have seemed insensitive if it was anyone else, but it was Ari, and that made it adorable. I got up and followed him, though I doubted he expected me to. I'll see you tomorrow.
Of course.
He nodded, the same nod as always, before stepping out into the hall. I shut the door behind him and let out a pent-up breath. I was glad we had talked. I hope that it helped things go smoothly from here on out. I always pick the troublesome ones, don't I? Ha! Don't you dare compare this sweet boy to Trent. Don't you even dare. Though I guess everyone had their quirks and their baggage. This was Ari's. It wasn't as if there was a problem with taking things slow. It wasn't the ending I was expecting, but I didn't mind where we had left things for now. With everything else going on, taking it slow was probably the best option anyway. Now, to write my report and go to bed. I spent the rest of the evening doing that and, of course, thinking about the new developments with ARI, and they fit into everything else. That was cute. I really liked the music that played during that too. It worried me seeing her like that. Though I knew this had to dredge up bad memories for Vaughn, having been caught in an explosion herself before. One that had killed the previous queen. That sent anxiety fluttering through me, but I pushed the thought away, steeling my jaw. I couldn't let myself give in to those kinds of thoughts, especially if Vaughn was already struggling. I didn't want to worry her more than necessary. Okay. Am I cautious or emotional? I can't be stubborn this time, so this is going to be a different one. Okay, we're going cautious. Think they'd let me go back to bed. I gave her my best attempt at a teasing smile. Vaughn seemed to relax a little as she laughed.
Maybe we can all insist it's too early. It's not even 6:30 yet. This is definitely violating some kind of labor law. I hope you two realize this is a serious assignment.
You're serious enough for the entire team.
More like cranky enough. Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed or something? My bed is pushed against one wall. There is only one side.
That explains it. Yeah, exactly. Vaughn gets it.
Ever considered the possibility it's the wrong one?
He scoffed and didn't answer. Vaughn's smile faded as she looked me over.
Seriously though, Morgan. Are you okay?
I'll be fine, Vaughn. Really. And... are you okay? She elbowed me gently, but moved closer, briefly resting her shoulder against mine. Okay. And now it's explosion time! I felt a little useless just standing there, so when I noticed some junior agents helping people out of a damaged cafe at the corner, I made my way over there. It wasn't like I was that far from Vaughn, and this was what I was there for. I was nearly to the group before I realized I recognized one of the civilians. Trent? Huh? Okay. So he teleported me out of there again, thank you. Ari let me lean against him for another moment before he pulled away.
I hope you realize what you did was... unwise at best. Reckless at worst.
There was a slight tremor in his voice that made me look up at him. His face was impassive as always. I didn't think there would be a bomb in that building. Vanessa was busy nearby and I couldn't just stand there doing nothing.
It is admirable you want to help, but...
It's not admirable. I'm literally out here so I can help. If everyone wanted to sequester me away like a valuable toy, I shouldn't have been mobilized. My voice rose unconsciously. I winced and took a breath. I'm sorry. That was a little... disconcerting.
That's putting it mildly. Please, do not worry us like that again. You should have called someone adept enough at clairvoyance to look through the wreckage first.
There isn't always time for that. Every second matters to the survivors. But if there had been anyone alive in that building... ugh, it was possible I'd made it worse.
Things like this happen in the field. We can only make our best judgment call at the time. I understand that. Everyone does. But I don't want to see you in that sort of situation.
It's the nature of the job, isn't it?
I suppose you are correct.
What about everyone else?
No one else was nearby when I got you out of there. And the explosives are not powerful enough to damage more than the immediate area.
That, at least, was something to cling to. Okay. So, a little less yelling, a little more controlled from Ari. Give me a heart attack. I think I'm going to give myself one as well.
Then don't do reckless things! And what the hell was Heidi doing? That girl should know better. I'm going to talk to...
Please, don't. It was my idea.
Do not wander away from me again, Morgan. Please. Please. I know you have to get used to this job, but just... for this assignment, don't do that again.
I'm sorry. I'll stick close to you, okay?
You don't get a choice. I'm not leaving your side for the rest of the day.
Neither am I.
Okay.
Come on. There are still a few sectors we need to go through.
Maybe it was for the best. Bravado aside, that had been terrifying. And on top of that, we still didn't know where Gina was, or if she was even alive. I didn't know how I would tell Trent later. Okay. Yeah, poor Vaughn. It's like the very first time she's in the field with a queen again, right after she lost the last queen. She almost lost the queen again. Ay, poor girl. Oh, okay. He's asking me if I want stuff for sleep. I don't want an injection, but if it's something I can decide to take later on, that's fine.
We can give you a capsule to take as needed.
Alright. Then yes, I'd appreciate having that.
Very well. You're free to go.
Thank you. And... get some sleep, Doc. Okay, are we going affectionate or emotional? Affectionate, hooray. I mean, I like hugs too, but affectionate. Oh, okay, they'd be smooching again. Are we still getting, like, full steam ahead steam in the sweet end? What's happening? Barely able to keep myself upright, I clung to him, just trying to be as close as I could be. I found myself suddenly gently lowered to my back. Ari was above me, looking down with an expression full of longing and confusion. Aw. Well, potential heads up for fun times? I don't know. Might be alternative fun times? I don't know. I reached up and gently placed my hand against his cheek. His eyes fluttered shut as he let out another soft breath, then leaned to kiss my lips again. Then just below my jaw. No.
I don't know what to do, Morgan. I want to stay, but I find myself afraid of what might happen if I do.
We can just stay like this for a while. Nothing has to happen.
Are you certain?
I'm not sure what you think my expectations are, but if you're worried I'm going to try to take advantage of you, I assure you I'll behave. That got him to prop himself up and give me his usual raised eyebrow look of absolute non-amusement. Well, I think we're safe, guys.
That is not my concern.
I just laughed and pulled him back down, though I didn't kiss him this time. He shifted until we could both lie together somewhat comfortably, and we stayed that way for a long time. At some point, I found myself drifting off to the soft rise and fall of his chest. It was nice to have some human contact, to remind myself that not everything was painful and sad. I was so glad he'd stopped by. Aw. Okay. That's right. Ari and I dozed off earlier, but he woke and went home at some point, and I relocated to my bedroom. I rolled over, pulling the blankets up to my ears, doing my best to convince my brain I still needed sleep. It wasn't convinced. I was still dead tired, but I tossed and turned the rest of the night, alternating between light sleep where images from the rescues earlier in the day would bleed in and wake me up. I finally, wearily, tried one of Ari's meditation techniques to calm down, and that was what helped me get back to sleep. The last fuzzy thought I had before I dropped off was that I needed to remember to thank him.